Good morning. Welcome to our Sunshine Lecture. Let us start with a universal prayer of peace. O Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three bodies of the world. May peace be established everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and noble things. May our ears hear happy and truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God. May God never leave us. Om peace and love. Om peace and health. Om peace and enlightenment. Om. So today is March 29, 2020, and we are about to go into the third week of isolation. And we are feeling disempowered. And today I would like to talk to you about how we can begin to empower ourselves. And I always believe that knowledge is power. When we understand how our mind works, when we understand how our thought process works, then it gives us power. So I'm going to start with that. In yoga, we have studied Patanjali, Yoga Sutras. And the most important part of that is that he talks about that your mind, to control the mind, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, is the real purpose in life. Without controlling the mind, we are powerless. You see, when we have control over the mind, we will attract different parts, different things. Our mind, when we send out a vibration, and when we send out a thought, or any thought we have, it is a vibration. And that vibration then asks for more it draws other vibrations of similar matter. I like to, there is a quote by Albert Einstein, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. And understanding both of those things, how our mind works, and understanding that it is a way to change things and a way to draw different energy to us. Okay? Right now, the whole world is full of fear. We don't want to tap into that fear. Fear eliminates or it reduces our response in our immune system. So let's take a look at what we are thinking and how we can change. And it's not so easy, but I think by understanding it, we will understand how to do it and be more confident in doing it. So when we say yoga chitta vritti nirodha, so we say that the chitta, which is your hard drive, everything that you have put into the computer at one time or another is running in the background. It's in our subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind is also part of our physical body, because that subconscious mind has been created through neural pathways. And these neural pathways have created a way for us to think. And we automatically fall into that kind of thought process. Not only the way we think, every neuron in the mind can be read by the neurons in our physical body. This is very important to understand. So our physical body is also contributing to our thought processes. It has memory. It has neurotransmitters. Every cell has a neurotransmitter. We now understand what the yogis have been saying. Scientifically, it has been proven. So with these neurotransmitters picking up what your mind is thinking, similarly, your body is pushing the mind into thinking a certain way. And when we understand that our thoughts fall into these patterns automatically because they have been created, then we need to understand that we need to make changes in these patterns. And that's not so easy to do, and that's what I would like to talk to you about, because it's not as difficult, but it requires action. It requires us to take some steps. Okay. Neural pathways are habits. Those are what we have created. That's why our thoughts flow in that direction. There is something else that is also important to understand. These pathways form a circular pattern. In other words, they go around and around and around and around, and the same thought keeps coming back and forth. This is what happens when we worry. This is what happens when we have fear. The same thought pattern keeps repeating. Now imagine a placid lake, and you throw a stone in. What will happen? Ripples will happen. And they keep growing bigger and bigger. And they keep going. They don't stop. Until what? Until there is a break, or they come to the edge of the pond, or somebody breaks it. Similarly, our thought process and the patterns we have created, the neural patterns, neural thought grooves, or grooves we have created, the vrittis, we call them vrittis, we have created, travel in a circular fashion. And they will continue traveling in that fashion and constantly going over the same thing again and again. This is what worry is all about. This is what fear is all about, until we stop it, until we break the pattern. And that's what I like to talk to you about. You can almost think about patterns like grooves of thought that we have created. And these grooves are there. The deeper the groove, the easier the thought falls into it. Just like water goes to the lowest level, when we are not actively thinking, our thoughts will go into the most common utilized groove, the one we fall into. This is when we are not thinking. This is when we are not consciously thinking, I meant. When we are not concentrating on something else. The only way to get out of that groove is to concentrate on something else. And once you concentrate on something else, you move out of that groove. And you make a new groove. You cannot make a new groove inside an old groove. You have to come out of that groove in order to make a new groove. or a new neural pathway. So with other words, if we keep sticking with the old same manner of thinking, we cannot create a new neural pathway that we can fall into. So how do we do that? Well, yoga recommends concentration, meditation. When we concentrate, we force our mind to come out of the groove. And we do that very effectively when we go to work. When we go to work, those things that are bothering us, usually we don't even have time to think about. With other words, our mind is not idle to fall into that groove. Our mind is busy doing what we have to do. When we stop being busy and we stop concentrating or we stop doing things, then all of a sudden, with an idle mind, it goes back into the old grooves. And old grooves are never really very good. If you close your eyes and you keep your mind flat and then see what your mind is thinking without an effort, it is never, I am a great person. It is, what should I have done? Why didn't I do? Why didn't this happen? And Mataji, my guru, always said, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And it is true, because it keeps falling into grooves that we have made over the years, over the centuries, over all of our incarnations. And we have been criticized more than we have been praised. So that the grooves have been formed. And we need to step out. We need to empower ourselves to get out of those disempowering thought forms. They are really not who we are. They are thought forms that we have received from an external force and we have adapted. And then our thoughts have been together with that. Because remember, I said in the beginning that thoughts are vibrations and attract similar thoughts. So when the entire country, which is now happening, is in the framework of fear, then our mind, when it is idle, will attract those similar thought forms. And I drew something for you very nicely. I hope you can see it. Okay, so here you are sitting, okay, and see these wiggly lines down here? Those are the thought forms that are happening throughout the universe right now, and they're uncontrolled, or they're full of fear, or they're full of whatever. It's not a kind of thought form that you might wish to have. But when your mind is idle, these have a force. Our mind attracts, and these have a force, and they can come into your mind. Now you see, when we are concentrating, the thought form vibration is much lighter. It's not so wiggly. The vibration of the flow of thought is much lighter. And so when we concentrate, we do not allow the lower vibration thoughts to enter, because our mind is filled with higher vibration thoughts. Then when we start saying a prayer, a prayer has very gentle thoughts. It has high, lofty thoughts, and we think about it as a lofty thought. Yes, it's a thought above the base thoughts that we have on our planet. Okay? They're lofty thoughts. When we start praying, our thoughts become lighter, and they become stronger in vibration, and they are full of a deep vibration because we have now tapped into our original self. We have tapped into our divine self. We have tapped into our real identity, not the identity that is surrounding us. And then I will show you, if you are meditating, this is what happens. There is like a flow that goes from here to here, which is your divine self. It bypasses every thought form. It bypasses everything. And it comes down into your crown chakra, comes into your crown chakra, and it stays there if you bring it into your heart chakra. That is the beauty about meditation. But not everybody can do meditation, and that's okay, because it is not something that we can always tap into, but everybody can pray. Everybody can pray. Everybody can ask for a higher self. Everybody can ask for the angels to help you. Everybody can ask for your guides to assist you. Everybody can ask for your body elemental to come and assist you and bring you more peace and bring you more health and improve your immune system. So the mind waves can be changed. And the more we do those, the more we create new neural pathways. But remember, we cannot create new neural pathways as long as we are in old pathways. It doesn't work. It's like a groove. We have to step out of the groove and create new grooves for our mind to flow into. And this can be done through prayer. It can be done through meditation. It can be done through concentration. It can be done through creativity. It can be done by maintaining your mind or getting your mind out of your thoughts into an alpha state, which is something that you can be in at all times. And that now we can process the neural pathways. The most efficient way is when you step into Vijnanamaya Kosh. It is in that kosh that your soul self has to come in to be part of you. Vijnan, superlative knowledge. It is at that time where, in that part of your mind, is when you have compassion, when you have gratitude, when you are creative, because creativity cannot happen unless your soul self goes into it. So my request for you, maybe you cannot meditate, but you can be grateful for what we have. We can be compassionate to the people that are suffering. We can have love for others. We can keep our mind more positive. And most importantly, let's stay creative. Do something creative. Working in the garden is creative. Plant flowers, plant seeds, do art, do drawings with the children that are now home. Do creative stuff with the kids that are home. Dance, put on music, play music. All of those things pull us out of mass consciousness. And right now, this entire planet is in mass consciousness of fear. And the more we bring that we understand our mind, and the more we bring ourselves out of this mass consciousness, we will create a new mass consciousness. a new mass consciousness of understanding, of love, of compassion, of gratitude. This is what is the most important part. We as individuals must vibrate to a higher frequency. To vibrate at a higher frequency is not that difficult. Whenever you have a negative thought, replace it with a gratitude thought. Whenever you have a fear reaction, replace it with something beautiful, something creative. Keep beautiful music surrounding you. Dance a little. Do whatever it takes to keep your vibration high. When we are at a higher vibration, the yogis have always said, one individual sitting in the Himalayas in a meditative state is more powerful than an atomic bomb, because the vibration that that person sends out, others can tap into and draw to themselves. More powerful than an atomic bomb. That means you and I can be more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And that power will relate back into your physical form. Because remember, this kind of power that you can receive by changing your thoughts, by changing your actions, it translates right back into your physical form. Because every cell then begins to vibrate at a higher vibration. Every cell will begin to vibrate where it originally came from. Because we were created in the image of the divine. We were created with the divinity within us. So we have to come back to the source, our own source, the source of where we were to begin with before we brought in the negativity. This source is available to us. It is ours to be. It is our power. It is where we need to be, where we will then have an immune system that no COVID-19 could attack. When our immune system is so strong, because our thoughts are so strong, then we will have power. Not only will we have power, we will give the world power. We will send out a vibration that will elevate others. And I like to read you something that Wayne Dyer wrote. And he got that from David Hawkins, who calibrated thoughts. And he says, individual who lives and vibrates to the energy of optimism counterbalances 90,000 negative individuals. Individual who vibrates at the energy of love will counterbalance the negativity of 750,000 individuals who calibrate at a lower weakening level. We can all do that. There is no reason for us not to be able to do that. We all have that kind of ability. Maybe you cannot sit and meditate, but you can definitely send out a vibration of love and compassion to those that are suffering. You definitely can send out a prayer for those that are suffering, because the prayers go out. They are sent out and they vibrate at a certain rate that other people who are saying a prayer can tap into. And maybe their prayer is not as strong as yours, and their prayer then gets stronger. And this goes on, and we can vibrate at that, not only for ourselves, but for the whole of humanity. Right now, our planet is at stake. Right now, our planet is going through a whole metamorphosis of thought process, of a change. Everybody is involved. And whatever the planet is thinking now is what we will be creating. The planet is going through a new creation now because everybody's thoughts are on the same thing. This has never happened before, where the whole planet is fighting one same process and all working together. Every country is involved in this. It is now our time to take the time to vibrate at a higher vibration. Don't fall into the lower vibrations. Don't allow your mind to be so idle that it picks up all the negative lower vibrations. Empower ourselves is what I'm asking you to do. Empower yourself, and you will not only change yourself, you will change the planet. And with this, I will leave you today. Hari Om Tat Sat. God bless you. And we will conquer this.